It's taking a little longer than usual. God, I hope everything's okay in there. Oh, fucking finally! Hi, babe. How'd it go? That face doesn't look good. Okay. Do you have to make another appointment? Okay, hold on a second. How about you just sit down and I'll do that for you, okay? No, I don't have a problem doing it. I don't have a problem doing it. It's okay. Sit down. And I'll be back, okay? Okay. So, seemed like quite the intensive therapy session today. Yeah, you don't usually come out of it looking like you've seen an actual ghost. You don't need to tell me, but if you'd like to tell me what you were talking about, then you can. Because, and again, I'm not forcing you, I want to do whatever I can, but I don't know what to specifically help you with if I don't know what you talked about and what's upsetting you right now. It should be obvious. I mean, potentially, but I don't like to assume. Ow, yeah, that was hurtful. Look, you can't just say things like that to me. Like, I don't care about you because I'm not listening. Of course I'm listening. But sweetheart, there are so, not to be ugly at all, but like, there are so many things that you could have talked about and that you've spoken to me about recently. So how am I to know which one specifically you're talking about? Sweetheart, listen to me right now. I am not talking down to you. Baby, I'm not. I know that there have been people in your life that have talked down to you and that haven't listened to you and that have hurt you and all manner of different things. I am not one of them. I am just the person that came after them. That doesn't mean that I'm associated with them in any other way. So while it's hurtful when you assume things like that of me, I know that I know not to, properly take them to heart because you don't mean it. And I'm not taking you seriously. Okay. my love, I am going to just focus on driving right now. Clearly you're not wanting to talk. That's okay. I'm not forcing you to. And I hope that during the rest of our drive home that you think about how you talk to me and about how you want to conduct yourself in this conversation. I'm not ranting and raving at you. I'm not raising my voice. I am doing nothing but loving you right now. And if there is something in you that is forcing you to not be able to see that, then I am not going to try in this moment. I am going to focus on driving, and you can focus on thinking this through. The best way of putting it. So I'm gonna turn the music up and yeah. You know, when I told you that we were done talking for the moment, I meant for the moment. I meant while we were driving. Because I didn't want to get upset and, you know, like I was behind the wheel. I had both of our lives in our hands and I never want a moment of emotion to to mean that I gravely hurt us. You know, I don't want that. And so that's all I meant. But you haven't even spoken to me all throughout dinner. We came home. We've been home for like 3 hours now. And I cooked for you, and I left you alone. We ate in silence. And it made me feel like I wanted to just take my food and then go in the room and close the door. And all throughout washing up, still nothing. I'm not understanding what's happening right now. I get that clearly something has upset you, and that's why you're feeling this way. But all I wanted to know was what that was, and for some reason you thought that meant that I was, I don't know, to blame. At least partly. Well, darling, if that wasn't the case, then I don't see how, like, where in anything I was saying to you did I even slightly give off the impression that I was A, talking down to you, B, not listening to you, C, and just like that I don't care? I come with you to the therapy sessions. You can drive yourself. You can absolutely go by yourself. I don't want you to. Because I know what it's like to go to a therapy session by myself. It sucks. You want that extra person, even if they're not in the room. You want that extra person there. It just kind of acts like a bit of a safety buffer, you know? And so, like, I don't have to do that. You've never asked me to come. And if it came to be that you didn't actually want me to go with you anymore, I would honor that request. I've just been doing it because I was trying to show you in non-verbal ways that I do care about you. And honestly, I'm not sure of what of many other ways that I can show you this, because there are so many that I do right now. Do you see me yelling? Do you see me talking down to you? Can't answer that one, huh? I think I have a theory for what you're upset about. Please, baby, when you say things like that, I don't think you realize how hurtful it is. Saying like, oh, you got an idea, do ya? I might not be as, gifted intellectually as you are. I may not have ever gone to university. I may not know the things that you do. But you know one thing that I am quite good at? Is tuning into people. And really seeing the abstract world of the human experience in a far broader and more outreaching sense than I think that most people do. I have the brain where I can, it kind of seems like I can, reach into someone else's and read them more than I think that they can do for themselves. I'm not even in your brain, and I feel like I read it way easier than you do. So it's really degrading when you say things like that. It makes me feel like I'm stupid. And it makes me feel like you are calling me stupid. And when you do things like that, it makes me not want to tap into that side of me where I can read you and I can give some kind of support. You know, it bugs me that I need a college education to be a counselor, because I fully believe that, I could do it now. You know what I mean? If that wasn't the case. You know, I'm not book smart. I'm not smart like that. And I know that. But I'm smart in other areas, and I really hate the fact that even if you don't mean it, you kind of make it out like you're so much better than me, and that you're so much more smart. Yes, you are. You are way smarter than me. But don't make me feel like it, please. So if you would be willing, would you please listen to what I have thought? Okay. I think right now that when you went into that appointment, you were thinking about all of your different exes. I'm not done. I believe you went in there and you've been struggling with what they've done to you. You've been struggling in ways that I don't think you even realize. They're in the really intrinsic parts of you that just makes you you. And you don't even realize that it's a trauma response anymore. So you've been thinking about all these things, and they've been playing on you even when you haven't actively been thinking on it. You've been experiencing and re-experiencing and re-experiencing and reliving the trauma that they gave you. And that's been going on in your head. And then you've been looking at me, and I haven't actively been saying, I'm sorry for your past. I'm sorry for the people that you have been with. I haven't verbally been saying that to you, so you take that as me not caring about you and not being able to read you. But believe me, baby, I can read you. And I have been trying to help you in the non-verbal ways. Well, I've even been trying to help you in verbal ways, but just not in saying, I'm sorry for that. I've been saying how good you've been doing. I've been saying how good of a person that you are. I've been telling you that I love you more than I've loved anyone. And I've been telling you that you are the best partner I've had. But I haven't specifically said, I'm sorry that you're struggling. Or I'm sorry for the people and the company you have had. So that, because that's the only way that you can see me caring, you just haven't seen the fact that I have been caring. And so you went in there and you talked about all of it. You brought everything up. You relived it again. The words left your mouth and they became real again. All those things that were just tiny, little, seemingly insignificant things, they all became real again. The fact that you flinch at loud noises, that seems benign at this point. It's just been such a thing that you just don't notice it anymore. But that's the way that your body remembers, the flesh remembers, okay? And you flinch at loud noises. You fear that everyone thinks the worst of you. You assume the worst of everyone. You don't like to be touched. You are completely intolerant of the idea that someone might be talking down to you. Might being the key word there. And you unconsciously kind of paste. If you had a picture of every single one of your exes, and they were all mashed into one, you just kind of paste it over the people that do actually care about you. Because you can't imagine a life in which there is someone that cares about you. You have been taken for a ride. You have been taken advantage of. You have been made to feel like a burden. You have been made to feel like the biggest piece of shit. And I get it. And even when you are not, there is no one around to actually reinforce these ideas. Your brain, your very soul will do anything to stay in that. Because it cannot even fathom the idea, the concept, that is not happening anymore. That was your life. You always felt like shit. You were always made to feel like shit. And so, when no one is around to actually make you feel like shit anymore, you are the person who makes you feel like shit. And you assume that everyone is out to make you feel like shit. And so I know for absolute certain that there is some part in your brain where there is a picture of me and you have shittily pasted all of your exes over me. I'm just another one of them. You know, I'm gonna leave just like all of them. You came out of it, and the fact that I was asking what was wrong and didn't assume immediately, and wasn't able to pinpoint accuracy, tell you what was wrong, so that isn't me not caring. And then that perpetuates your delusion that everyone is the same and that everyone wants to hurt you. And so you do what you had to at that time. And you defend yourself. But there is no one to defend yourself to. And when there is no one to defend yourself to, your defenses starts feeling like exactly what your exes did. But to me. And I know you know that. I know you can feel that. And that makes you feel like a piece of shit, because then you're just like them. You're broken. You're ruined. You're destined to be like them. So why fight it? And that self-hate just adds more fuel to that fire. And everyone else is gonna wear it. Because you've worn it in the past. How's that? Am I in the ballpark? Speechless, huh? Yeah. I do listen. I do know you. And while I know that you can't, certain things can't always be helped, I'm gonna need you to start making that effort, baby. Because I mean it when I say that you are the best partner I've had, and stop treating me like I'm just one of the other bitches. As you haven't started actually saying anything in response to that, I'm not really feeling like standing here, bearing myself to you and getting no response. I'm not really feeling that right now, so I'm gonna go freshen up and go in the room. Yeah. No, yeah, chill, do whatever you want. Alright. Bye, baby. Come in. Hey. Sorry. I wasn't expecting you to come in anytime soon, so I thought I was... Yes, I'm crying. Yes, I'm crying, babe. Because I don't think you realize how... I don't think you realize how hurtful you can be sometimes. Well, you make me feel stupid. I try and say anything to you and you're like, oh yeah, what are you gonna fucking say now? That's not the way you talk to someone. And I know you know that because people have talked to you like that. So why would you do it to me? And I don't do anything to deserve it. Yeah, you can sit down. Feeling up to talking now? How typical it is that I've done a lot of talking and come away from it, don't really want to talk anymore, and now you're raring to go. But you know what you do for someone that you care about? You make the effort. So even though I'm not really up for talking now, I am willing to listen. I hit the nail on the head. I have absolutely no doubt of that. I wasn't really guessing. I'm not lying when I tell you that I do know these things. I notice everything. And again, I feel like I might know you more than you know yourself. And what I said makes sense. What does that mean? It means that you're sorry. I accept your apology. I know people have hurt you in the past, and you have had to grow to adapt. You think about it in nature. See, nature is really, really full on. It is graphic and not for the weak. And if an animal has to live in a really, lack of a better term, treacherous environment, it's gonna evolve to be able to withstand that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason that a thorny devil should look like that. Nothing else really does, but it's had to evolve to adapt to its new normal. Really, to grow a thicker skin. And sometimes, if someone were to reach out to a thorny devil, well, they gonna get stabbed. Same thing with really, like anything you can think of. You really think about just like every animal that exists, there's no reason that they should work that way. But they do, because their environment dictates it. I believe that to some extent, most if not all animals have had to grow into a more treacherous version of themselves. Just to be able to live and to spend another day. And while humans don't exactly change their exterior the same way that animals do, but they really can change too, to adapt to their new normal environment. Like a husky is built the way it is because it had to withstand completely unlivable temperatures. And then for people to then adopt one in a really hot country. Now it has these, if you can think of it, has these really unhealthy coping mechanisms, doesn't it? It's had to change to adapt to frigid cold. And now its coping mechanisms aren't really serving it the way that it used to. In the environment that it used to be in, it was a shield. And it was able to kind of coexist with that environment. In a way, the husky itself turned into its own environment. You see where I'm coming from? Yeah. You had to adapt to being constantly made to feel less than, and that you were stupid and you were unworthy and you were unlovable and you were anything that they said. And you had to learn to adapt to that and kind of grow a thicker skin so that you could kind of not be on the same level but be on like an equal playing ground, if that makes sense. You know, you were able to push back. Now that there's no one to push back against, and there's no cause for it, it's just translating to continuing the cycle. I know, baby. I know that you don't think those things, and that you've been hurt, and that's why you've had to live the way that you have. But I'm just hoping that you've been able to see that you don't need to just survive right now. You're not in survival mode, you don't have to be. You are never going to be put into a situation where you would ever require that again. At least where I'm concerned. I know that they're hard things to break. It's habit, and then it becomes you. You know. I'm just hoping that I've been able to shed some light for you. You know what I mean? And that even throughout all of this, that I've been able to show you that there is a healthier way of dealing with conflict. You know what I mean? I never once raised my voice to you. I never once belittled you. I never once didn't take your feelings into consideration. I never did any of that. Even though, I'm sorry to say, baby, you were really laying into me. And it hurt. It hurt. Because I've done nothing but be good for you. And I just don't want to be... I just don't want to be seen as just like, oh yeah, you're just like all the rest. Because I'm not. And I just don't want to be seen as and then treated that way. I forgive you. I forgive you. I think that I don't want a sorry. I don't want an apology. I don't want anything like that. I just want you to promise me that you have heard me and that you've come away from this just in a better mindset, and you're to work on how you treat me. Because I'm not an abuser, so don't treat me like one. That's all I ask for. No. I know that you're gonna keep apologizing. But if you could do me a solid, I'll do you a solid, okay? I accept your apology. Okay? I'm hearing it. I'm hearing you're sorry. I hear it. And if you could do me a solid right now, this is what I actually want. Are you going to work on this? Okay? Then that's it. And hey, I'm willing to, like, go to couples therapy if that's gonna help you. You know what I mean? Like, whatever is gonna help you to be able to separate your past and your present, I'm there. I'm there for it. Whatever is gonna help you. As long as you can promise me right now that you are actually gonna work on this. Okay. Okay. And for right now, I'll just have to believe that, okay? I do want to see action on that. Because you are so loved here. You are so fucking loved here. And you don't need to be a survivor anymore. You've survived it. You can shed that title now. You're a victor. You're a success story. And I want to stop you from going backwards. You know what I mean? You've weathered it. You weathered this storm. You became the storm for a little bit. And now I'm telling you it's okay to let it go. And you can start by crawling into bed with me. Yeah. Let's shed this day off of us. I love you, baby. I really do. So let's work on this.